Hello everyone! We are going to talk about social variation in language. My name is Nabila Afifah Wulandaru and my friends' names are Muhammad Hamda Salahuddin and Raisa Nabila Zahra. There are 5 topics that we will be talking about, which are sociolinguistics, speech style and style shifting, register, slang, and African American English.
Sociolinguistics. Sociolinguistics is the study of the relationship between language and society. It is the study of the linguistic features that have social relevance for participants in a speech community. Some individuals can have very specific views on socially appropriate language. People who live in the same region but differ in education and economic status often speak in quite different ways. There are 3 topics in sociolinguistics. There are social dialect, education and occupation, and social markers. Social dialect. Social dialect or socialect are the study of people's speech in towns and cities. In the social study of dialect, social class is used to define groups of speakers who have something in common. There are 2 main groups. It is the middle class, those who have more years of education and perform non-manual work, and the working class, those who have fewer years of education and perform manual work of some kind. Pronunciation is one feature of language that is treated as relevant in the analysis of social dialects. Pronunciation is words or structures that are regularly used in one form by working class speakers and in another form by middle class speakers. For example, in Edinburgh, Scotland, the word home is pronounced as hame as if rhyming with fame among lower working class speakers, and pronounced as home as if rhyming with foam among middle class speakers. It is a small difference in pronunciation, but it is an indicator of social status. Education and occupation. People generally sound like others with whom they share similar educational backgrounds or occupations. The way bank executives talk with window cleaners usually provides linguistic evidence for the significance of these social variables. Sociolinguist William Labov conducts a study in 3 New York City department stores, where he asked the salespersons in different brands of stores specific questions, such as "Where are the women's shoes?" to elicit answers with the expression "fourth floor." He found that the higher the socioeconomic status of the store, the more airstones were produced, and the lower the status, the fewer airstones were produced by those who worked there. So, the frequency of this linguistic variable R marked the speech as upper middle class, or working class. Social markers. The use of particular speech sounds that frequently occur in your speech marks you as a member of a particular social group, whether you realize it or not. There are pronunciational features that function as social markers. The first one is the final pronunciation of ing with n rather than ng at the end of the words, such as sitting and thinking, indicates the lower class and less education. The pronunciation sitting and thinking are associated with working class speech. The second is edge dropping, which make the words at and had sounds the same. It occurs at the beginning of words and can result in utterances that sound like "I'm so angry I could eat an ours." In contemporary English, this feature is associated with lower class and less education.
Speech style. Speech style is a variation of speech which is used when people communicate with the others. Each person has different style when they speak depending on their situation. Speech style is the important part in communication for different goals and different topics, even though they communicate with the same language. type. There is 5 types of speech style. First, intimate, the most informal speaking in speech style. Second, casual, an informal situation style. Third, consultative, a feedback speech style. Fourth, formal, serious situation style. And fifth, frozen, respectful situation style. Style shifting, the alternation of one speech style with another in the context of the same communicative event towards the same or another addresses. More precisely, a change from one speech style to another is called style shifting. There is type of style shifting. Style shifting is shown to affect several distinct linguistic levels: phonetic, morphophonemic, syntactic, and lexical. For example, instead of saying there is no difference between you and me, a style shift to more formal speech will be there's no difference between you and I. Conversely, a shift from formal to informal will be marked by greater use of informal speech features.
Register. The register is a conventional way of using language that is appropriate in a specific context, which may be identified as situational, for example in court, occupational, for example among lawyers, or topical, for example talking about language. Register have one defining feature, that is jargon. Jargon, one of the defining features of register, is special technical vocabulary, typically nouns, for example plaintiff and suffix, associated with a specific area of work or interest. In social terms, jargon helps to create and maintain connections among those who see themselves as insiders in some way and to exclude outsiders.
Slang. Slang are words that are used instead of more everyday terms among younger speakers and other groups with special interests. Slang expressions, which mark group identity during early adolescence, can become outdated quickly. For example, older terms for really good like super have been replaced by newer terms like dope. The use of slang varies significantly between older and younger speakers, highlighting age as a key factor in social variation in language use. Taboo terms are words that often involving body parts, bodily function, and sexual acts. They are often swear words. A study in Detroit High School found that lower status regularly use taboo words, regardless of gender. Among higher status, only males use taboo words and only with other males, while females avoid them. This indicates that social class divisions in slang use are well established during adolescence. African American English or Black English. Black English is a variety used by African Americans in many different regions of the USA. Features of African American English are often stigmatized as bad language. This develops a pattern where the social practices, especially speech, of dominated groups are labeled abnormal by dominant groups who define what is normal. Despite ongoing discrimination, African American English holds covered prestige among younger members of other social groups, particularly through popular music. Vernacular language. Vernacular language is a general expression for a kind of social dialect typically spoken by a lower status group, which is treated as non-standard because of marked differences from the standard language. The sound of vernacular. First, reduction of final consonant clusters. Words ending into consonants are often pronounced as if there is only one. For example, left hand is pronounced as left hand. Second, initial dental consonants pronounced as alveolar stops. Initial dental consonants are frequently pronounced as alveolar stops. For example, think is pronounced as think. Third, Omission of possessive as and third person singular as. Possessive as and third person singular as are not typically used. For example, Sophia's boyfriend. She loves him. Become Sophia boyfriend. She loves him. The grammar of American vernacular English differs from standard American English due to several historical, social, and linguistic factors. AAVE structures. They don't include to be verb use are to describe what is happening currently. For example, he playing ball. To express habitual action, they use be. For example, he be playing ball. To talk about habitual action that started in the past, they use been. For example, he been playing ball. And for negative sentence, formed with don't and the verb is not used with a constructed negative. For example, he don't be playing ball and he don't been playing ball.